Hello and welcome to the Full Force Weekly, proudly brought to you by Battle Action Force, the Treasury Editions. I am your host, Christopher McLeod AKA Diagnostic 80. In this episode, I bring you all the news from the past week in the world of G.I. Joe. So what is it, me? It's the Full Force Weekly, of course. What else would it be? Of course, Full Force. How is everyone doing? Hope you're having a good Saturday. Hope you're having a good weekend in general. Gone a little bit earlier today. I think a few people were saying in the comments they expected Pat to be here. Unfortunately not. Pat is still out of his time kind of availability. Now, the reason I'm starting early today is because it's been snowing again. So I had to go out earlier and do a load of snow blowing. Yamada was a snow blower and some shoveling. And we'll be doing again shortly after this episode finishes, because it's already absolutely caned it down since I went out there and did the entire block. By the way, old superhero McLeod, everyone's loving me today because I did the entire block with this really cool snow blow that we have. Anyway, so that's why I'm starting early today, guys, because I've got other things I need to get done before the darkness comes. Anyway, I hope everyone's doing well. Lots of you in the chat already. It's been a awesome, yes, short circuit, Jedi Ben. Yes, I should have done the "if you get that reference, we can be friends" line that I always say. But yes, that was short circuit indeed. Anyway, yes, lots of stuff's happened this week. We had G.I. Joe Day last weekend, which was very fruitful in terms of render reveals, which we'll go over again. We'll refresh our memories. We'll re-render our memories. Then, of course, we've had cheeky leaks as well already, which again we'll go into a little bit more on those again. And I've zoomed in on some of the images as well, because I realized in the news burst in the week, I didn't really zoom in on anything. So it's hard, it would be nice to kind of have a good look at what's going on inside that package. Yes, Johnny 5 for the win. Thank you, Destro Designs. What's everyone saying in the chat? Mark from Talking Joe Comics says, your timing isn't helping my general sense of discombobulation. Sorry, Mark. Yeah, it's just how it is, isn't it? I did send out a tiny little, what do you call it? A little sort of notifier on our stories on Instagram and Facebook, just to say we're going a little bit earlier today. But yeah, for those that aren't paying attention to those particular social networks, my apologies. Anyway, a reminder for the comics newsletter: if you can't make Midtown on the 11th Wednesday, you can catch Larry Harmer at Hub Comics on 21st of February. Yes, thank you, Mark. I will get into that very soon. Because we're starting, of course, this week with the comics news. Now, of course, not a lot in terms of release. Nothing released this week, basically. We didn't get any new comic book day goodness this week. Hair smacking me in the face there, but we have been absolutely spoiled with G.I. Joe and in-universe, Energon universe related comic paraphernalia. We've been spoiled for choice the last couple of months. So every week there seems to have been something out. This week, nothing in the G.I. Joe, Void Rivals, Transformers, A Real American Hero realm. Okay. But having said that, a large bit of news popped out, which obviously Mark just reminded us of a second ago. Yeah, Larry Harmer is going to be signing issues 325 at Midtown Comics on the 11th of February, which is like 8, 9, 10, 4 days away, which is kind of cool and fun and awesome. It just makes me excited because I know Toy Fair's next weekend, and I genuinely cannot wait to be on that show floor, rubbing shoulders with some of the best in the business, taking pictures and doing interviews and doing videos and are doing live streams that night from the hotel in New York City. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait. I even enjoy the journey, the little travel I do up there. Any Hoosen, let's get you the information that you require now. Or have, of course, Renegade Game Studios posts a Heroescape image to this minute, like 5 minutes ago, but it's that one we've already seen from, I think, the box art, or one of the main pieces of art that's narrating the story. But I'm just putting it up there. It's an amazing bit of art that I do like that. Well, maybe I'll talk about that next weekly, or whenever I can be bothered to talk about it. But we've already seen it before, so it's nothing really new. Just telling you that Heroescape releases next month, so we can pre-order now. Anyway, back to what I was talking about. This is the problem when I go onto our page. I then see all of the new stuff that's happened that second. Although I will say we didn't get much in the way of like releases this week, but we did get a nice top 10 selling comics of January from Image Comics. So their top 10 sellers had G.I. Joe Real American Hero 324 at number 9. Void Rivals at number 7. Void Rivals 26, that was. G.I. Joe 18, which was a banger of an issue. That was at number 5. The Dreadnought War Part 5 of 5, issue 17, that was at number 4. And Transformers at number 2, issue 28. So again, some Energon Universe and G.I. Joe, lots of like good sales in there, which is always awesome. Anyway, coming back to the information I need to give you regarding Larry Hama's appearance at Midtown Comics on the 11th. The blurb goes, Yo Joe, go skybound with Hasbro. Calling all recruits, G.I. Joe legend Larry Hama is reporting for duty at Midtown Comics Times Square for an explosive signing celebrating G.I. Joe 325. Bonus mission, get a signed comic and be on deck for a G.I. Joe Classified Series exclusive reveal. So that's a big one. Now here's more information of how can we get involved in this, Chris, if either we're in person or not in person. Well, let me tell you, it's going to be Larry Hama. It's going to be at Midtown Comics Times Square. It's going to be Wednesday, February the 11th at 4:30 p.m. He's going to be signing 325 and a Classified Series reveal. Issue 325 must be purchased in store the day of the event. 2 items max per person. So don't go in there thinking you're going to be that guy with like 20 items, throwing them on eBay afterwards. Just, abide by the rules. The first 100 people in line get issue 325 signed for free. And then they get a second item for $20. After the first 100 people in queue, $20 per signature, again 2 item max. So you're effectively getting one of those items if you've got 2 items to be signed free, which is really cool. So arrive early to secure your spot. Photos are allowed, but only with Larry's approval. Okay, so if he's cool with it, then it can go forward. But if he's not doing that, then you just have to, play by the rules and respect Larry's decision in that particular scenario. Let's keep it smooth, safe, and mission successful, because knowing is half the battle. Anyway, if you can't make it in person, and this is important for those of us who won't be there on Wednesday the 11th, join us on Whatnot, which you can actually find if you go to Midtown Comics on Instagram, and in their link in bio situation, they might even have it on their Facebook page as well. Effectively, it's probably going to be on all of their socials, isn't it? But if you go to their Instagram page, specifically because I know that it's there, you can find the little Whatnot situation there, and you can download the app, and you can follow Midtown Comics basically on Whatnot, and they will be basically doing they'll be streaming it on there basically at 4:30 p.m. And it says on here, you can ask Larry Hama questions, score giveaways, and get a book signed live on camera. We'll ship it to you or send it to CGC for, was it grading, whatever it is. So that is pretty much the situation for all that information. I've missed a lot of comments. My apologies. Mark says, I've hit that alarm bell so I get notified when you go live, like all the cool kids. Thank you, Mark. That's a good technique for anyone that ever misses notifications or what have you. Hit the little alarm bell on our YouTube channel, and you should get notifications. I don't know how good it is. I do know that some people have done that and they don't always get notified in good time, so my apologies on that one. But I unfortunately do not run YouTube nor any of the other social networks. I just pump our stuff out on there, Kitty said. Modulock says, I'd like to ask Larry Harmer why he prints letters from a... Whoa. I won't continue that, but because I don't want to... There's a lot of alleged information in there. So, yeah, I didn't know that, Modulock. That sucks. Maybe he's not aware. I would assume he's not aware. Dave John Mellor says, good day. I just want to say thank you for all your hard work. You make JoJo more entertaining than it has any right to be. Thank you. And an emoji, a salute emoji. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate that. Couchboy says, happy birthday to me. I am celebrating a birthday on JoJo month, lol. Happy birthday, Couchboy. Have a wonderful Saturday and birthday. All Hits Me UK says, all Ravenous Nerd event policies apply. Got it. And Grizzlehorn says, we thinking we are getting a Larry classified. Now that would be kind of interesting, but I personally think this one is going to be one of the we've talked about this on the news burst, and this is what we can talk about now. We can let's get into some speculation here. Who do you think we're going to see in the chat first? And then we'll go through some of your ideas. I will say in one of the situations, I will say it's going to be characters that he has a hand in creating, right? So very recently, we've had a lot of new characters. Obviously, there are new characters in issue 325. Could it be either of these two? Could it be? I forget the names now. Oh, what are the names of the two new characters? Can you let me know in the comments? Because I've completely forgotten. Well, you could let me know in the comments, or I could just scroll up and find it. Come on, where is it? It was one of those ones where you think it wasn't that long ago, and then I've made 57 posts. RC and Downrange, thank you, Mark. Talking Joe, of course, the comics lads know what they're talking about when it comes to comics. So yes, RC and Downrange, or as it is on the screen, Downrange and RC. Now, that's an option, I guess. But then, of course, you've got other characters that are synonymous with Larry. Dawn Moreno being one of them. Callister has asked Dawn Moreno Chibang 2-pack. No, I can tell you that isn't the other figure in that Chibang 2-pack. But I won't go in that. I won't keep doing that thing where people keep putting in the things. And I'm like, no, until we narrow it down. But no, Dawn Moreno is not in that 2-pack. But I do think, in regards of a big reveal, preview to New York Toy Fair, Larry Harmer signing comics at Midtown, streaming it, all that kind of good stuff, I think Dawn Moreno would be an absolute banger, and also is probably high up on the list of most expected in this sense. Couchboy says, Hasbro needs to finally do comics. Billy, Dawn, October Guard, Quinn, all great shouts, Couchboy. Classified Dawn or Red Snake Eyes in Classified would be dope. River Otter Pet, says Stanley. That would be amazing. I would love anybody from the October Guard, says White. Another good shout. Destro says, imagine a tunnel rat with 100% Larry's face. That would be really cool. But also, we've got 2 tunnel rats already that should have happened too, really. Maybe they will do some sort of thing in the future where, you know how we've got... was the literal person in the action figure form. Who do they do it with? Was it George Lucas? Stan Lee. They did it with Stan Lee, didn't they? That's who I'm thinking of. Obviously, Stan Lee got his own sort of figure. What they should do is they should do his characters when he shows up in the cameos, Stanley. So they should do multiple Stanley figures whenever he, like in all these different cameos, because that would have been kind of fun. Although, would we be buying that many Stanley figures? I don't know. Maybe. Are people into that? Who bought the Stanley? Was it Marvel Legends figure? Who bought that? Will the Wednesday reveal be in hand at NYTF? Yes. To answer your question, Stan. Mark says, and also at Joe Fest, writer Larry Harmer, the artist of 325, Chris Mooneyham, and cover artist Rod Wiggum get that bad boy triple signed. Yes, indeed. So Joe Fest, they're gonna have they just talked about Chris Mooneyham, didn't they? They just dropped that reveal recently. So yeah, Joe Fest is gonna be pretty stacked, isn't it? Twisted says, hopefully by next Super Bowl we get a fridge. You might need a fridge before that just to keep all your food fresh. This would have been a good week to announce him. Well, it would have been a better week if the Bears had been in the Super Bowl. PBJ Street Gang says, which character is the bigger? I'm not going to say that. Stanley says, will the Wednesday reveal be on a display? Yeah, I've done that one. McFarlane got a figure too. Yes, he did. Yes. Make Larry Joe Colton, lol. He's good as Colton at his age in fig or film. That'd be kind of cool, Couch Boy. PBJ says Don Moreno. Agent Helix as well, another good shout. George Lucas was a stormtrooper, says John. Yes, you're right. In fact, I had that in my head. Like I was envisioning when I said George Lucas, him in the stormtrooper outfit, but I thought my brain had just done that rather than that actually being an actual thing. I got Lee and Lucas, says Couch Boy. There is a Larry Harmer figure, isn't there? There was an exclusive Larry Harmer. Fresh Monkey Fiction did a 4-inch one, didn't they, for Larry? So yeah, I would really like them. I would really like an official Larry Harmer like homage in Classified. That would be amazing. And if Super 7 did it as O-Ring, that would be kind of fun too. Anyway. They also did a George Lucas X-Wing pilot. I didn't know that one actually. So he's getting some different figures, isn't he, old Lucas? Isn't this reveal supposed to be part of the main line? It is part of the main line, Hydrus. It is. It's the one listing that we haven't unlocked on the old listings yet, but we will unlock it on February the 11th, which is fun. I'm a comic lore fan, says Dave. I can't get on with the cartoon. How many other franchises have different lore? Quite a lot, actually. I mean, Masters of the Universe, to start off with, they have multiple different lores, multiple different comic lore, multiple like different movie lore, and obviously cartoon. I think most franchises will have stuff that's sort of like in that vein. And then the funny thing with Star Wars is that has like this long continuous sort of thing that then either gets retconned or removed or like not made canon anymore, so it ends up in this sort of like no man's land. But everything feels like it starts with being in canon, and then at some point in the future, if it hasn't been successful enough or it has enough fan like backlash, then it sort of gets removed. That's sort of happened a little bit very recently, hasn't it, with the prequels, I want to say. Bry says, and thank you for the super chat, Bry. Where's the Classified podcast series? Christopher McLeod with Pat. That would be amazing. But obviously nobody would buy them. Just be you, Bry, probably. And obviously Pat and myself. Larry, everything fig while he's here to enjoy it. Honor him, the creator. Indeed, Couchboy. Jeddah said it was a Celebration 2 exclusive. George Stormtrooper and X-Wing. Yeah, cool. Thank you. Thank you for the extra bit of information. I appreciate it. Couchboy says, last year, Toy Fair Feb pre-orders were first week in March, right? Yeah, I imagine they will follow Toy Fair. I don't know how close, and at the moment, all we know at the moment is this reveal and some of the other, unlocked listings that are going to be there in hand and in person. But in terms of like the pre-orders, we actually don't have that information yet. But I imagine obviously following the con, so I think early March is not a bad shout, honestly. But it is. I feel like it's earlier this year. I felt like, was Toy Fair a little later in the year last year, or have I just made that up? I might have made that up. It felt like it was closer to the end of February, and that's why it went into March. Anyway, Mark says, think about the ridiculous number. Sorry, think about the ridiculous number of continuities for the likes of Batman. Oh goodness me, yeah, that just forget about it. Forget about it. Is Transformers G.I. Joe movie still coming? Kirkman cartoon, give me TV or films, please, G.I. Joe. So, Transformers G.I. Joe movie, I don't know. There's been no other talk about it, no other updates. Every time it's sort of broached or the kind of thing is brought up, the kind of more of a hopeful sort of response. I mean, there was very recently an interview with what was his name? Anthony. The guy who was in the last Rise of the Rise of the Beasts movie. Why do I forget his name now? Anyway, the main actor was in like the end as well, and he was in the G.I. Joe bit at the end where he gets given the G.I. Joe card and everything. He was interviewed very recently, and they asked him about the Transformers. Anthony Ramos, thank you, Lawrence. Thank you so much. That was annoying me. This happens a lot, I'm afraid, because when I'm live, for some reason the pressure's more to remember things like that. And if it's not natural, if I'm not remembering it naturally, then because it's on live, my brain just shuts down and I can't remember anything. So anyway, yes, Anthony Ramos responded to say, oh yeah, that'd be great. Who do we need to kind of like, push to kind of get this done? Let's get this good. Like, he was effectively saying he doesn't know, but he wants it to happen in his own way. So no idea about where that's going or how that's being if that's even, because they said it was in development last CinemaCon, and this does happen when they talk about these things going into development. Like the writing then has to happen. They've got a writer assigned. Again, I forget his name off the top of my head. So that I imagine the screenplay, the writing is happening as we speak, and they're waiting for that process to be completed. Once that happens, then they start, you start moving, the development machine starts moving, but only if they still feel like it's worth doing at that point. They may not feel like what they've got is strong enough, and they may have to kind of go a different direction with it. So who knows? We'll have to kind of hold fire for a bit more update on that. But in relation to your other question, whoever it was who put the question in there, Couch Boy, the Kirkman cartoon, aka the Skybound Energon Universe animated series, Transformers G.I. Joe animated series, is being pitched to studios, I guess you call them, or companies, whatever you call them, to actually produce. So Amazon is a good front runner, mainly because they already do Skybound stuff with Invincible. So that is probably the front runner, but maybe they're just pitching it to multiple places to see what's going on. There's been no update on that other than that bit of news that it's being shopped around. And I imagine that we might, who knows, we might hear something over this weekend. They might be tying it into this weekend, or maybe they're holding a little bit of news for like your bigger cons, like, because this is a toy fair, this is a trade show. So it's not really the same. They've sort of effectively done a little bit of, they've conventioned it up a little bit, but the thing is, it's not one of those things that's open to the public very easily. You have to sort of be in the industry or have connections or be in the press or whatever. Now, in any case, I wonder if they're holding back a lot of information and news for the animated series for your SDCCs, your NYCCs later in the year, because again, it will be further along. They might have more news to actually give us, more developmental news, designs, ideas. Like, has a studio picked it up? Is it going ahead? That sort of thing. But I'm really confident that we'll probably the Energon Universe animated series will probably go forward, and mainly because Kirkman and Skybound are involved, more than anything else. Anywho, that is that. That is the news that Larry Hama will be signing at Midtown Comics. Now, the additional bit of information I want to give out here as well that Mark reminded me earlier in the chat is that if you can't make this particular signing at Midtown on Wednesday, the 11th of Feb, there will be another opportunity if you're in the Somerville area of Massachusetts and Hub Comics, because the wonderful Tim Finn at Hub Comics will have Larry on the 21st signing at Hub Comics. So go check out Hub Comics on HUB on the socials, and all the information will be there. I don't think there was anything posted just yet, like visual, but I just haven't seen it if he has done. But yeah, everything, if it is up there, obviously you'll see it on their socials, and if not, don't worry, it'll be posted very soon. So that will be Larry Hama signing at Hub Comics in Somerville, Massachusetts on the 21st. Okay then, if you missed this one, of course. Right then, next up, and we're getting straight into, now there was a Green Shirts Renegade Game Studios post, wasn't there, this week, but I completely forgot to add it to the list. So just so you're aware, Renegade Game Studios posted another bio artwork situation for their Heroescape game, and it was the Green Shirts this time, the G.I. Joe Troopers. I just forgot to put it in the weekly this week, so we're going straight through that one, but it gets an honorable mention at least. We're going right into classified, I believe. Yeah, let's do it. Nearly forgot to change the graphics there. Right. Happy G.I. Joe Day indeed. That was last weekend. Let's go through all of the reveals yet again. You're probably sitting there going, Chris, you've already done this like in depth on the weekend. And I'm like, yeah, but it's fun to go through again. Did I miss anything? Probably not. I think we kind of scraped the barrel in regards to every single element we could talk about on these. But this won't be long as well, because obviously there's other related things leaky wise that we have to get into as well. Right then, moving through, and we start with Airtight. So the team decided to post a hat full of renders on G.I. Joe Day, February the 1st, because that was the day that Hasbro revealed G.I. Joe to the world at Toy Fair, and they've decided to go with that as the G.I. Joe Day, which is, I think, absolutely superb, honestly. But there you go. Airtight is one of them, and he's been one that I think a lot of people have been after. A lot of people have been asking about. I was one of those people. He was synonymous with the Action Force weekly and monthly comics. He was in a lot of the VHS episodes that we got for the Action Force cartoon, International Heroes. So I was so excited for this one, and I was not disappointed. He is effectively very vintage accurate in terms of his design. They haven't gone like too far. They haven't done like a classified update, which a lot of people were after. I kind of feel like that would have been a good idea to do within the main line, and then maybe give us some sort of retro version on card. But not everything needs retro carding, I would say. Although I think I would have loved personally to have a little retro collection of your Airtights, your Barbecues, your Flints, your Jays. Now, we've had Flint, but the card art is awful. We've had Lady J, so that's cool, but that was like the first phase of retro, and the cards have changed since then, so it's starting to be a bit disjointed. But I personally would have loved a sort of like Action Force International Heroes sort of like retro kind of collection, and unfortunately I don't think we're going to see Barbecue in that form, and I doubt we'll see Airtight, because as this figure shows, he is very much of that vintage style. The helmet is removable as well for anyone that wasn't sure about that. We have had confirmation on that from the team. A helmet is removable, and you have the kind of like helmet with the little pipes. Now, I assume those pipes are removable, or it's one pipe that connects to the backpack in the same way the vintage one did, with that sort of like kind of plops into the tube itself, plops into a little kind of C grip on the top of the backpack. And then it kind of curls around and plugs into the back of the helmet. He's also obviously got a cable to attach to from backpack to vacuum cleaner, of course, and a pistol on his old right thigh there. So he isn't like, dripping in weapons and accessories, but he has got his classic gear. So that's the main thing. 1212 Duano says, is there a release date? So this will probably go up for pre-order following the toy fair. We don't have the pre-order dates, so we don't know. But I would imagine they will follow toy fair as they do pretty much with all of the reveals that they do. When there's an event, it'll be that either the week following or a little bit later. But we'll find out at toy fair. Duano, whatever, 1212. So that is Airtight, and we can go through his kind of bits in more detail. Kitty said. Joshua says, with his release, I expect to see an R Puro and possibly a Mahrujo, since we already have a Shipwreck, possibly a 2-pack. I'd love that, Joshua. I'd love a little oh, thank you, 1212. I appreciate you too for saying that. Thank you. Sorry, Joshua. Yes, that would be great as a 2-pack, because I'd love a bit more Tiger Force, as well as like obviously Shipwreck as Marujo, and R Puro would be great. And also, with Lifeline there as well, and Tunnel Rat, and Hit and Run now in the line. We're just missing Sneak Peek, Blizzard, Psych Out. Got Outback. Is that it? Yeah, Tunnel Rat. So yeah, there's a lot of cool Tiger Force stuff we can get, and also it wouldn't just be Tiger Stripes on Airtight as well, would it? Because our Puro has got the kind of the brown instead of the green, so they could definitely kind of like do that with the figure, kind of make it like the Tiger Stripes on top of maybe a ever so slightly kind of different yellow, like a more mustardy yellow, and then do like a brown for the other parts of the gear, and that would make it so different that I would be well up for that. And yeah, Shipwreck as a Tiger Force version would be so good. I'd love that, with the black cap and then like the tiger stripes on the yellow shirt and the black trout. Oh, it'd be so good. Anyway, looking forward to seeing his head sculpt as medic. Yes, me too. Now, the fact that we've just seen Wetsuit in a similar situation, removable helmet, and they've given him like the unmasked kind of like head with the hair out, makes me very like excited for the prospect of them doing a sort of head sculpt with the Widow's Peak vibe of Airtight. I think that would be so good. So good. Anyway, so the actual figure we're looking at, here's us talking about the future figures, and this one we haven't even seen this in real life yet. We've just seen the render. On a Retro Action Force card would be really cool, Jim. It would be very cool. It's been a while, but does helmetless Airtight look like Norman Osborn? Yes, Corey. We hope so. Because he does look like Norman Osborn from the Spider-Man, especially the Spider-Man animated series, because they had that Widow's Peak, and he had it's kind of like lines going it was such a weird haircut, Norman Osborn. I love it, but it's so like interestingly odd. And I obviously Airtight is just black hair with the Widow's Peak. So who knows? Joshua says, I know we will get at least the original US characters, but hoping for more international since we got Outback. Not sure if they will get into the 2000s Tiger Force. Yeah, like Stalker and Dial Tone. And yeah, those would be good too, though. We again, all characters that we have waiting for that to happen. Really, the fact that they've done a sort of your 2000s beachhead Night Force makes me feel confident that that's not off the table, Josh. I don't think, Joshua, however you prefer, Mr. Medley or Josh, however you prefer, just let me know. I'll say Joshua as it's written on screen. Anyway, Airtight looks great. We know it's a removable helmet. We just don't know what's underneath it. Like, I'm hoping it's not just your sort of SAS Eagle situation, or like your original Airtight, my 30th anniversary Airtight 4-inch version that had the sort of like wraparound like NBC suit head. I don't, and again, there's no alternate heads here, so it's only going to be the one. So they've gone in one direction here, not the band. Anyway, then we get the Grundle. So we've got a lovely look at the Grundle. Not a great deal to get into here, other than like the gloves go all the like. There's high gloves there, which is cool. He's got some cool detailing on his bits and pieces. I'll call you Josh then. Sorry, Josh. And the knee pads have got a little bit of detail to them. He's got like turtles knee pads. And what they should have done is given him little shells for the black bits on the knees, because it's like a green strap and then like a black knee pad, which is kind of cool. So a little bit of, breaking it up a little bit there in terms of the deco, and of course his little booties as well, looking good, Airtight. And then the accessories, which are all extraordinarily classic, vintage inspired. The backpack, sensation, no notes. Next, the vacuum cleaner weapon, perfect. The cable to connect the two, superb. And a pistol, lovely stuff. Airtight is a winner. Now, next up, we have the Hydro Viper, which I would say, other than one thing that I would change about this particular figure, one thing, I think this is absolutely sensational. And I'm just so happy this exists and will be on show very soon. The Hydro Viper is like so good. And again, there's a lot of stuff they've taken from the classic. They've focused on the card art, which is even better in my opinion. So, the helmet is very much of the card art style rather than the action figure version. Medic says could have come with the balloons from the Sunbow episode Funhouse. Airtight, yeah, that would have been. Do you know what? That's etched into my mind because it was on the outro, wasn't it? Of like all of the VHS episodes, as well as like obviously that series of the G.I. Joe cartoon. I used Norman Osborn head for my custom Airtight. Reminded me of the cartoon Airtight. That's nice. Good idea, that Bruin. Chad Phillips says, I was there when they announced Tiger Force Blizzard Club exclusive at JoeCon back in the day. Your reaction, Chad? Hot damn, man. That was a fun day. I had that on video. That was so much fun. I was so excited when they revealed those Tiger Force figures. Oh, that was a good day. That was a good day. Anyway, yes, Hydro Viper. And that's what it is, big Jeff. Yes, that's what I'm getting to. So the figure in general, like they've stuck close to the card art, especially with the helmet. You've got a very vintage inspired kind of like tank for the backpack. You've got obviously the lightning bladed knife, which is really cool. They've minimized the harpoon gun in order to have it attached to, I believe, his right thigh is the harpoon gun, and the dagger goes in his left shin, on the calf. Sorry, I think that's where they're going to put the weapons. And again, what I like about that is making the harpoon gun smaller in order to make it work as the card art suggested, attached to his leg. So really, really excited about that one. Brilliant stuff. And then, of course, the flippers. I mean, who thought that was going to be the case? I would have put money on those wetsuit flippers being the sort of pre-tool to the Hydro Viper, and not even close. Like, I'd have put money on that, genuinely. Not a betting person, but I'd have put money on that. And the fact that they go ahead and do these flippers in just the most wild style is just incredible. And then, of course, the little devil ray, which is fully expected, yes, but this is a mainline figure, and they've obviously made it so that it is a kind of smaller version. It was small anyway in the original figure, so it wasn't going to be one of those like gigantic ones that you see. But in any case, I'm glad that we've got this as an army builder in the main line, and it's so bloody good, and it's got the animal companion. So yeah, this is ticking so many boxes for me, right? The only thing I would say, and some people have already mentioned it in here, is that only giving him like the hands, the default hands he has, like a 1C grip on the right hand and a webbed hand on the left, is a bit disappointing, because I think giving him 2C grips and 2 webbed hands would have been like the preferred, or even just one hand just to make that left one like a C grip for weapons and what have you, because I feel like it really does minimize the character options and the display options and stuff like that. Considering some figures get hands that I'll never ever use or even look at twice, I feel like this one, with multiple purchases, would have had the webbed hand, would have had some holding like the harpoon in a certain way, some with the knife and the harpoon. So it would have made for a better sort of display options. And that's just one hand. I think you could, in the line plan somewhere, and again, logistics come into this too, but I think you could have gotten away with cutting something else that wasn't maybe necessary elsewhere to get us another hand in this particular pack. Because I just think it's the only thing I would say about this, because everything else is perfection. Like even the webbed hand is dope. Like it's really cool. And we can go through all of the different like details and the textures and what have you. So first of all, the unmasked head, exactly as I expected it, they would go with the kind of like the red face mask, the purple sort of like and black detail on the sort of like wetsuit kind of mask sort of situation with the eyes on show. But what they've done here is they've really accentuated the fact that these guys are not quite there. And what I shall do is I shall read out verbatim, because I know you love it when I do story time, right? And I'm sure you've never read the Hydro Viper file card. Okay, here's a question for you. What do you think is the most read file card in G.I. Joe history? Almost impossible to get an idea, but I'm going to say I think the Hydro Viper might be up there because of just how interesting it is. Now, they are called the Demon of the Deep, of course, which is a great name for this, as just to throw in there a little bit of extra. Hydro Vipers, Demon of the Deep. Come on. Cobra Underwater Elite Trooper. Hydro Vipers are qualified eels, of course, because like literally every single Cobra troop builder seems to be an eel at some point. It's funny as well. The more I read the file cards, the more I remember so many different eels in there. Cobra frogmen, in brackets, who volunteer to be surgically altered to withstand nitrogen narcosis and other side effects of deep diving. Synthetic webs are implanted between their fingers, and subcutaneous fat production is stimulated by chemical injections to provide natural insulation. The long-term effects of these procedures is known to be psychologically destabilizing. You look at those eyes and you tell me that they have not just captured that file card in those eyes and the kind of like stressed sort of like furrowed brow as well. Like it's incredible. Does story time include who the mystery figure is? No, Jedi Ben, it does not. The mystery figure is Brave Star, says Corey Flood. That would be incredible. Eels up inside ya. Yes, Hydrus. Finding an entrance where they can. White Mike says, my vote is Zartan was read repeatedly just because of the redacted version, people trying to figure out which one it was. That's not a bad shout, because it had the schizophrenic element removed, didn't it? Yeah, paranoid schizophrenia element. taken away out of it. Anyway, yes, cool, good shout actually. So it's an interesting topic of conversation, or I think it'll be a good episode that we do. Maybe we'll bring monthlies back, and we'll get some of the guys on the show to do things like our favorite ever file cards. I mean, mine's obvious; it's this one. And then it says underneath, I'm sorry, those guys just aren't human anymore. They have a handshake like a dead mackerel, and they leave damp spots on all the furniture. I realize that they are virtually unbeatable in underwater combat, but so is a great white shark, and I'll bet the shark is friendlier. So really cool. And again, I think they have encapsulated all of that in just those eyes. That's how good I think that head sculpt is. Snake Eyes must have been the most read. After all, they released it like 2,000 times. Good point, Mark. Yeah, Cobra Commander as well. That got a lot of reuse. That card. They did a really good job with this Hydro Viper. It looks just like the original card art, says Jay. I can't wait to see this in person. I think I'm going to cry when I see this in person. But yeah, absolutely beautiful. And like I haven't even talked about other than the head sculpt. The head sculpt's perfect, right? Texture on the purple element of the head. Kitty said. You've got the waist piece, which is a bit of a callback in the way they've done the deco on this. I need to brighten up my screen. There we go. Is a little bit of a callback to the black secondary they gave the figure that showed up in was it Toy Fair catalog, or basically the one that was on show in, like, you know, the product leaflets and what have you, because that had all the mock-up, you know, and they do like a little mock-up of the figure and just paint it whatever, that had black on the secondary and the vest. So they've definitely, there's a callback, I think, to that, and of course the card art, which is very similar to but love all the little pipes and everything, very much like the original. Perfect stuff, love it. And again, texture on that secondary is brilliant. And then you've got like a little strap around the left bicep as well, which I haven't talked about yet, probably because I didn't notice it the first time. This is the first time I've actually noticed it. And of course, red details on the shoulder pieces as well, which is very cool. As you move down the figure, we get a really good kind of view here of the hands. You can see sort of like on the C grip, there's like long kind of like nails on the end of it. It's very, very freaky. And then obviously the webbed hand is great. So awesome. And of course, little gauntlets, different asymmetrical gauntlets. So the right one is a bit shorter and stumpier, same. And the one on the side is a bit larger, same. And then you've got the another little kind of detail on there, which I'm sure is going to be something we can see up close and really get an idea of what we've got going on there. But again, really cool. And then, of course, the pouches for the belt around the waist. Again, adding another great element to this already awesome figure. Maybe it's the affinity with deep dives that make this such a fave. Possibly, Mark. I do love a deep dive, don't I? Now I want a classified great white shark animal companion, says Tac Tac. Yes, please. The only shark we've had is the mechanical one, right? That came with Eels version 2. Have we had a shark? I know we had the sort of orca dolphin situation with well, it's a dolphin, isn't it? Or is it yeah, what is it? I can't remember. Whatever it is, with Deep Six, the Eco Warriors. The only one I can think of is the mechanical shark that fires a missile. But yeah, we definitely a great white shark animal companion for one. That's a bit of a flex, isn't it? Maybe from a distance. But like, I don't know many people are making friends with great white sharks, to be honest. Jay says the black helps break it up some. It looks better this way, in my opinion. I agree. Bryce says the bit about being surgically altered has me thinking about Mara. Gonna need that figure. Yeah, Mara, who we got in Super 7. Do you know what would be really cool? A Mara figure that was basically a female Hydro Viper, but the different color skin and everything. That would be so cool. Water figures make me want a moccasin, says Couch Boy. Oh, I know, same. Yes, and I've already mentioned that, Jay, but 100% definitely think a left hand C grip would have made this the best perfect figure ever. 610 says, "What's up, Chris? What's up? Gonna have to catch the replay. I'm at my Twins basketball area playoff game. Good luck to your Twins basketball game, though. I hope they win it." I said that like toast, or like what's his name? Matt Berry would say it. On a basketball game. Jason says, "I honestly wish they'd used a bigger buck than the torpedo eel body again. It's obviously heavily influenced by the old card art, and the old card art Hydra Viper was really ripped." Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I think like the secondary helps for the bulkiness on this one. The hand is also really. I know what you're saying, but again, he's going to have tight diving gear on, isn't he? All we need now is a moray for all these divers to fight around. Moray 2026, says Blitz. That would be amazing. I would love a hydrofoil for sure. White says, "I would have preferred the touches of yellow the original art had to add some extra color breaks." It does have yellow on the hand there, but it also has yellow on the helmet, which we'll be seeing in a second. Is that what you mean, White? Because those are on there. I would have thought Hydra Viper would be monstrous. This guy is underwhelming, says Corey. Get out. I'm just kidding, Corey. You don't have to get out. We all have our opinions, and it's totally fine if that's how you feel about it. What cartoon episode had big sharks in it? I know there was one, but I can't remember the name. I can't remember either. Hydrus. The left hand is like Booker T's 5-time championship, says Figure Six Pack. Amazing. I'm getting to most of the comments today, which is impressive, isn't it? Is it not? Clem Fandango here. Can you just give us a yes? Says, "Hi, it's me." Yes. Street Sharks is a cartoon. Sorry, I thought you meant in the Sunbow cartoon for G.I. Joe. I didn't realize you were talking about Street Sharks as a cartoon that was sharks related. Tiger Sharks as well, but they didn't really get out to the UK. Yeah, there's been some shark related cartoons. Anyway, there's the detail that you're looking for. And then the legs, of course, which have those really cool textured lower parts of the legs, which are definitely different, right? The calves look thicker as well, but maybe it's just the lower part underneath the calves that are different because of the texture addition. And of course, the little red toe cap type things as well, which is cool. Anyway, there you go. That's the figure. Then, of course, we've got the Devil Ray, just close-ups of all the accessories. The Devil Ray, which, again, if you kind of brighten the image, you'll see that there's detail on that particular Devil Ray. And again, I imagine this to be even cooler in reality. It obviously shows a flat 2D image, so I don't think it's showing a curvature of the little wings, little fins. So I imagine those probably have a bit of a curve to them, because if you look at the tips, Kitty said, it does look like they may just kind of like bend in a little bit. So I imagine there'll be a curvature to those little fins and what have you. But again, very excited for the little Devil Ray. Oh, I'm going to get so many of these. This is my favorite figure from Cobra of all time. So I'm going to need a few of these. I'm just saying. Then, of course, we have the piece de resistance, I would say, of the whole thing. Although we do have some other things to look at in terms of the Hydra Viper close-up. But this is my favorite part of the figure because, again, I think the render does some good stuff, but it doesn't always do it full justice, does it? Full Justice, which is the name of my new action movie coming out. But this, again, this helmet is just glorious. Imagine this on that figure with all the gear on it, and just imagine it. It's going to be so good. It's going to be so freaking good. And then there's that bit of yellow on the dots in the eyes and the little kind of element on the forehead as well, on the forehead of the helmet. I don't know. I'm really excited for this one. So excited for this one. They need to make that a 1-to-1 helmet as well. Like Trick or Treat Studios, come on. And then, of course, you've got the pipes that lead to not the flippers, lead to the backpack, but I've gone to the flippers next, which are like dragon toes. They've really gone to town on these. The detail on these are phenomenal. The webbing in between, the texture on the actual toe parts, The little kind of thick, big, like 3 scales up on the top of the foot. It's just so good. So ruddy good. Full Justice sounds like a Steven Seagal movie. It does, doesn't it, actually? Could the reptilian-like fins be reused for a possible Kraken, I wonder? Jason, now you're thinking. Now you're talking my language. I like it. Do you think we will ever get a retro Serpentor? Never got my hands on the deluxe version. Well, 1212, I would have to say it's one that I'm surprised they haven't come back to with Serpentor, because he was a completely unique figure. Obviously had the Air Chariot as well, so it was an expensive figure to do. The fact we haven't seen that in any way, shape, or form reused or retooled or whatever is a bit of a surprise to me. So I would say I don't think it's necessarily prime gonna happen this year or whatever, but I think in the future you might see it. I think you might see Serpentor redone. I don't know if it would be retro or if they would do something else. But again, I think they kind of should do another Serpentor, even if it's a redeco, like like the Python Patrol one from Super 7 or something like that would be kind of fun. Anyway, that mask is pure nightmare fuel, says Hella Geek. I have a slight fear of deep dark water already, and now I get chills thinking of seeing that thing emerging through the dark, the depths. I know, could you imagine? Hits Me says 1-to-1 Hydro Viper dive set in stores this summer. That would be great, wouldn't it? Figure looks great. Past my time, but I'll get one, says Lego Star Wars Kid. Totally understand. I totally get it. For some people, that you like the focus is on different areas of the brand, and I get it. It's totally cool. And just to finish off the Hydro Viper, Kitty said, we've got the Lightning Blade, the tiny harpoon launcher, which is kind of cool actually, as a redesign, to make it smaller and more kind of able to be stored. And an awesome backpack, which again is just screams of that OG one. Love it. Steven Seagal is out for full justice. Indeed, Bry. Indeed. Right. Next, Overkill. Now, this is another one that I have sort of, in my mind, built up an idea of how they were going to do it. And this was sort of how I imagined them doing it. This is one of those ones where I knew they couldn't necessarily do the exact thing that we had as the original figure, right? Like, I knew it wasn't going to be just verbatim scaled up sort of vibe, but they have at least stuck close to the deco, and they've made it so it's like a big hefty cyborg bat basically, which is amazing. And I'm really liking what they've done with this. Now, this has definitely been one I think that has sort of split the fandom a little bit. Some people are really digging it, and some people are like not like 100% convinced, and that's totally fine. It's the render phase. Let's wait till we see this in person, because I think there's going to be elements of this that are going to like be really cool. Obviously, the chest panel is removable, is articulated. The 2 hinges on there not only prove that, boink, but we have had that confirmation. We have also, you can see a human style eye behind that little eye section there. So does the face mask come off to reveal some sort of like RoboCop style half human half cyborg sort of scenario? I don't know yet, but that's something that I wouldn't put past this team in doing. And I don't actually know, because I haven't asked them that question yet, which is annoying, because I asked them like every other question. Does his buttons McBoom Boom thing happen? Yes, it does. So he buttons McBoom Booms. Okay. And then of course, again, like I'm happy they've kept this deco. I think it's great. I think it's I'm here for it. And I know not everyone is. I certainly am. And you might go, Chris, you're always in for this stuff, but not always. I have very much, mentioned in certain situations where it's not buzzing my berries in a massive way. The retro bat didn't really buzz my berries very much. But that was more to do with the fact that I have like a million bats. So, and not just, the different color versions, but like the first bat for me just satiated my need for that version of the bat. Yes, like it ticked a few boxes, and it gave us the red face, the proper red faceplate for that particular bat, and you know, and ever so slight redeco and like some other little additions to like the blast effects and everything. So there were some elements to it that were okay, but did it buzz my berries? No. This does buzz my berries. And I love the fact that we've got like a little bit of narrative in there where they described it as like a version 3 bat sort of situation. Now, this particular character is cyborg enhanced. Speaking of cyborg enhanced, here's Annie. Are you going to come and say hi, sweetie pie? Yes, you are. Come on then. You haven't been on the show for a week. Let's pick you up without pulling all of the, hang on, let me just get you over there. There's a good girl. There we go. Sorry, there's a lot of cables in the way. And whenever I pick her up, I'm always like catching her on it. Hi, darling. Aww. Hi, sweetie pie. Just go straight to the beard. She knows that there's food there. That's why. You just, yeah, enjoying. Okay, cool. Right, I was make out with my dog on, on the channel. Anyway, yeah, she licks my beard because she knows there's she tastes the fact that I haven't washed my face after eating anything. I know you're a sweetheart. Anyway, so yeah, Annie's on stream. So there you go. Anyway, yes, Overkill. What do you think of Overkill? Yeah. Okay, so kisses. So okay, she's happy with Overkill. That's good. Were you just checking to see that was okay? She's the best. She's so sweet and so lovely and snuggly. Some people are saying hello. Cool. So yes, Overkill. I love the texture and the detail. I love the design they've gone with, and that's pretty much all I can say. I like they've kind of gone with that sort of like, I don't know, the sort of like, was it like anime style sort of robot bodybuilder sort of look? Do you know what I mean? Like that huge upper torso with a skinny waist, but like abs and like, I know, and pecs and everything. Okay, big yawn. Am I boring you now? Is that what's happening? Okay, cool. Anyway, yeah, loving this. And the head sculpt is, well, what we can see of this so far is really cool. Will there be more to it? Will you know, elements come off it? I would be really surprised if they don't do something like that, considering they've done it with like Frag Viper, they've done it with all sorts of different characters. And so like if they don't do it with this one, I will be surprised. Or maybe they're just going to keep it a bit mysterious with the sort of like the human eye kind of element in there. Oh, she really is bored now. She's yawned twice. Have you just got up from snoozing? Is that what's happened? Yeah. Have you been snuggling and snoozing? A little angel. And for some people, yes, Overkill just isn't their jam, like Joe Barrett has just said. But there you go. Very cool. Yeah, surprised there wasn't a backpack, but also not surprised at the same time when you consider what they were probably basing it on, because obviously the original Talking Battle Commander had that huge sounds and effects backpack. Yeah, do you want down now, or you just want some more attention? I don't think she realizes I'm on a live show right now, but it's so adorable. I can't, ignore her. I think she just likes the scritches. Anyway, I'll keep doing this. I'll try and multitask, guys. While we look at the groin of a cyborg. Yeah. Completely lost my train of thought. But in any case, it's not everyone. Oh, the backpack, yeah. And obviously that was so massive. So obviously they weren't going to do something that size, but they could have done something a little bit smaller that maybe stored some of those extra accessories, but then also kind of mimicked the design of that. Does the chest open up on this one? Yes, it does. 1212 Duano. It does. You see the hinges in the top of the screen there, actually. And we have had confirmation that it does actually buttons McBoom Boom. And if you don't know what that means, then you're not a Cops fan, are you? But yes, the TV show, that is. The cartoon TV series, animated series. And of course, we've also got the rivets. Someone did mention the other day that this looks very much like it could be like Destro Iron Grenadier legs. And I'd have to kind of agree with them if they do end up, because that has kind of leaked a little bit in other places, hasn't it? Okay, I'll pop you down now. Thank you very much for coming on. Annie says bye, guys. Good girl. She's probably going to run back upstairs now. What was that noise? Just ripped something. Well, it wasn't my pants, but anyway, that is, yeah. So again, I could see them sort of maybe doing something like in a Destro Iron Grenadier style, as in Destro Goldhead, Destro Iron Grenadier, Destro version 2. You know what I mean? Despoiler Destro. So yeah, I and again, like that has sort of like, there have been like rumors and what have you of leaks that is on the way. So maybe there's a possibility there. But I the funny thing is with the team is I'll see stuff and I'll go, oh, that's perfect for this. Like wetsuits flippers, for example. We looked at wetsuits flippers and I wasted no time in getting excited for the Hydro Viper. One, because I knew it was on the listings and we couldn't unlock it until we got the official reveal. But so I just assumed many things with that. I was like, well, they look so much like they've been designed for Hydro Vipers. Wasn't the case. So who knows? Anyway, they're the rest of his legs and his little robot toes, cyborg toes. That's quite funny. Anyway, cool. Very awesome. A little bit Crichton when I look at the legs, actually, from Red Dwarf. I don't know why that's in my head, but there you go. It's probably because we were talking about Destro, and that version of Destro, that second version, Iron Grenadier version, has a 2-up where his helmet is like squared off and it looks just like Crichton from Red Dwarf. Maybe wetsuits flippers will be reused for Undertow. I think they'll get reused, Jason. Have no fear. They already had reuse, or did we get for the divers? Did they just have the regular flippers that we'd already had with Torpedo? I think they'll get reuse. Of course they will. But that's a good shout. Undertow's a good shout for sure. Anyway, this guy needs roller skates. And then of course the accessories. So he gets this massive like I don't know what you call it, like cannon, laser cannon. Now, will that attach to his chest? I hope so. Just because of the ridiculous stuff that, that Overkill ended up looking like with all the things stuck in his chest. Isn't Red Dwarf always in your head, Chris? Yes, it is, basically. Yes, Fuller's figures. Smeg indeed. Smeeg. Heed. Will they recycle the legs for a nullifier? Asks Figure Six Pack. I'd like that too. Divers had Reg Eel Torpedo. Yeah, they did, didn't they? Lego Star Wars. I thought they did. I think we've only seen those flippers on wetsuits so far, haven't we? But yeah, I think we'll start seeing those in the future. There's no doubt about it. Think about Lenny and Tony hearing you get excited about wetsuits flippers and thinking, oh, Chris is going to love this Hydro Viper's actual flippers. I know. Because also I was hoping it wasn't the case. Well, I was like excited and I thought, well, that's cool. They've gone a certain direction with it. And then they reveal the render and I'm like, I couldn't be happier right now. Giant dragon toes, please and thank you. And yes, it's Hasbro. They will reuse parts at some point. But Joshua, what my point was before, Josh, sorry, my point before was they'll do stuff where I'll be like, well, that's obviously going to be that. And then it doesn't happen. They'll do something brand new. And then there'll be other situations where they'll reuse something and I'll be like, oh, didn't even think about that. Grizzlehorn says, is this image upside down? Sort of. It's I moved it and changed the orientation so we could see them, all the parts and the pieces in a different fashion. So I think they're upright in the sense of that one in the middle top is kind of made to go upright in that orientation. So the kind of like the kind of weapon element is on the top and the connectivity port is at the bottom. And I believe that is that one of those ones that's kind of like on the shoulder, sort of like Predator style. It'd be cool if it is, if they're going to do something like that. Obviously, you've got the knife attachment and you've got the kind of claw attachment. And I imagine they both clip into his hands, but then also onto the chest too, which is kind of cool. But there you go. Those are they. Are you thinking that the rifle should have like the handle the other way up? Because I didn't even think about that. But yeah, that's a good shout as well. Like it could be that, yeah, it's one of those ones where it's held by the top of the handles and then the Yeah, so that rifle at the bottom could very well be upside down Grizzlehorn. Absolutely. I just flipped it to make it fit on the screen clearer, and then didn't go into the thought process of actually putting it the right way up. So that's on me. That is on me. Here's a little tip and technique. If you're watching this on a screen right now, do a handstand, and you'll see what that should look like. And the cannon goes on his the cannon goes on his wrist as well. Cool. It would be really good if it did clip on his shoulder, though, wouldn't it? That'd be so good. Anyway, yeah, it's like a laser minigun. Thank you, PBJ. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, that is Overkill. Then we get man, I've got loads to do. Let's move through these, because obviously I have covered these in a lot of detail already. This is a new character, guys, so don't you worry. It's not Wild Bill in any way, shape, or form. I know a lot of people are saying that. I'm very confident right now that this is a brand new character, and we're going to see something different with this particular situation. So excited to see the full reveal on this one. And when I say not Wild Bill, what I mean is it's not that Wild Bill retro situation we saw pop up the other day in sort of a leak scenario. We are getting a retro Wild Bill, but this is not what this is. This is one of the mainline reveals, and it is a new character. Okay, cool. Now, are there Wild Bill elements here? It looks like it, but the hat might be reused, or it could be a brand new hat. You know what they like to do. The pistols, are they reused? Possibly. The holsters, possibly. There's probably reuse going on here. It's not Sundown from Cops, but that would be freaking awesome. In any case, excited to see this, because there's elements we're not aware of here, or all we know is that there's a listing for a new character, and obviously I'll show you on the listings what that listing is. Stop saying listings. But that's all we know about it at this point. So it looks to be some sort of poncho that they're wearing as well, which would kind of maybe put it in that sort of gaucho territory, like the kind of Mexican cowboy, or maybe it's a possibility it could be sort of like indigenous American. Like, there could be a lot of things going on here which make me very kind of like excited to see what they've kind of done with a new character. The fact that there's the tomahawk in there as well, a good shout there, Jay, indeed. So there's a lot of like, there's a lot of things in here that kind of making us kind of go, oh, what could it be? Who could it be? What could the character sort of background be? And I think that's part of the appeal here with this particular new character. So let's see what we're dealing with when we get into that event on. And man, I can't believe it's so soon, and I can't believe I'm going to be there in a few days, and it's just going to be insane. At New York Toy Fair. So this will be shown off at New York Toy Fair, Lego Star Wars Kid. Wong would be hilarious, says PBJ, and so does Figure Six Pack, as I offered Wong as a possibility. But we are pretty sure it's a new character. Okay. Anyway, moving on, because there's not much else to really go on there. Taurus and Red Dog, or Red Dog and Taurus, as you see them on screen. Now, this is a 2-pack that we've known has been coming for a while, and they have gone ham in the hand department, ham hands, which is great. So Red Dog, let's go through Red Dog first. Well, actually, let's look at the loadout, because there's a lot to look at. He gets a backpack, which is great. Taurus does not, and that does surprise me, because Taurus had a backpack as well. So all of the Renegades get backpacks apart from Taurus. What's going on here? It would have been nice to have like a Taurus style backpack as well. It had that, like, was it like the little kind of handle on the top? It was a bit of a stodgier, like smaller kind of backpack, wasn't it? Like a little kind of round kind of thing. I don't know. But yeah, it's they kind of like cheated him out of a backpack there, I would say. But yeah, you've got the pistol and a silencer for and a dagger for Red Dog. And then he's also got these 2 new sort of bats, which are kind of, a few people have said, like, you know, kind of Samoan looking sort of things as well, because obviously there's a bit of that in the background of the character. So again, like interesting sort of like mace thing going on there with the kind of notches on it. I mean, that's going to cause some damage. And then sort of like a wiffle bat with the sort of kind of like cuts into it to kind of make it sort of like, I don't know, aerate it a little bit. So you've got kind of two interesting sort of like bats that he comes with there. And then of course the alternate hands, not to mention all the secondaries on him. Obviously the belt secondary, the thigh holster which connects to the belt, the secondary kind of like back brace, the shark tooth necklace, and of course his really cool I'd say one gauntlet and bracelet on the other side, which is really dope. But it would be remiss of me not to mention the fact he comes with not only an American football or a football for those that are just from the Americans, a kickstand as well, or a kick tee because he's a kicker who was kicked out as well, funnily enough, of professional sports for unnecessary roughness, which is amazing. So love the fact that we've got the kick tee and the American football, and one of his hands is shaped in order to hold the American football, which is brilliant. So love it. Love that. Great loadout for Red Dog. And I love the detail on the actual jersey and everything. Very cool. Taurus, I'm assuming then obviously has his spare hands as well. So fists and C grips for him. You've got sort of like a more old-timey pistol. Another dagger for him, a pistol, black pistol for him as well, because he's got like lots of spots to put these on his actual person. And then of course you've got the axe that's been made specially for him, a very ornate axe, and then the scimitar, which is obviously synonymous with Taurus. And again, like lots of gear on this particular character as well, secondaries wise. You've got the torso secondary and shoulder pads, which are brilliant. Again, there's a spot there for one of the pistols. He then has he has a double belt situation going on, but he has two belt buckles on his, and of course the thigh secondaries and another little side secondary. So he's got obviously the pistol, and then a dagger. So that I think that covers all the three. No, there's 4 spots for weapons. So maybe the scimitar goes, or the axe is stored, and maybe on the back of his belt he might have something to store one of the other accessories as well. So Taurus, you might be looking at someone that can store all of his gear without a backpack, whereas obviously Red Dog he'll struggle to store all of his gear as well, to be fair. And then 2, I guess, like generic rifles that can go to either player. But there you go. A pretty decent loadout. And then, of course, obviously Red Dog has a lot of really good detail to his character. Of course, the headband, the shark tooth necklace, as I said before, and that sort of number 1 jersey with the ripped sleeves. Very, very cool. Legs, of course, classic design, following that classic with the stripes down the side of the pants, and of course the high boots as well. And then Taurus, who a lot of people have mentioned, not a fan of the slighter build for Taurus. I get it, guys. I'm with you guys on that one. I'd love it if Mercer, Taurus, and Red Dog were the same sort of size, just because like they sort of are in in the movie and everything. So it would have been nice to kind of get that, but I guess they're sort of mixing it up a bit. They're trying something different here. They're trying something new, and it's not for everyone's taste. But to be honest, that Mercer and Sarge 2-pack is a proper good 2-pack. Absolutely loved it. Yeah, so I think I'm going to be very happy with this 2-pack as well. Again, look at the detail on all of his gear, all of the little detail elements. He's got like a left wrist gauntlet. Obviously, the kind of like fists have got the kind of like little kind of like fingerless gloves almost, but they're sort of like a bit more than that. Kind of like armored like MMA gloves in a way. And then he's got the very detailed belt buckles, the ammo as well on the one side of the secondary, and a little grenade and a little walkie-talkie on the other side. So he's stacked. He's got some gear, and the head sculpt as well. Didn't even talk about the head sculpts, but Taurus's head sculpt's phenomenal. That is one hell of a beard, and it's got some design to it as well. Got some like interesting elements going on there. So I'm really a big fan of that head sculpt for sure. Anyway, and then of course the legs as well. Rather sort of, yeah, your military generic style legs for Taurus, but he's got a cod piece and that's all that matters. And knee pads. There you go. That's Taurus and Red Dog, or Red Dog and Taurus as they are on screen. And then we have Zanya and the Chameleon, or the Swamp Skier. Again, another really great reveal. Of course, they teased the Swamp Skier quite a while back, and a few people didn't think it was. A few people were hoping it was something else. And you know, you're free to think that. But the moment I saw that tease, I was like, that has got to be the Swamp Skier. It has to be. And lo and behold, it was. Now, Zanya was name dropped prior to that as well. So, you know, again, if you kind of look at the most obvious answers, usually are the right ones. And there was a bit of kind of like speculation that Zanya would come with the Swamp Skier, and you know, 1 and 1 equals 2 in this case. And we have a very cool Zanya figure, very much like that early to mid 2000s Devil's Due image kind of style design, with the kind of the neck kind of choker thing with the little spikes on it. Very cool. The t-shirt, the kind of like, you know, crop top with that Dreadnoks logo on it that was synonymous in that run as well, for image. Loved the hair as well, with the green in it as well, like the kind of light neon green down the middle, and then the darker green on the dreads. Very cool indeed. And then the makeup and the little the lip ring. There's just I'm very pleased with what they've done with Zanya. And then rips actually in her top, in her arm, on the top of her arm. So she's got rips there as well, much like the design as well in the comic. Yeah, and tattoos on her midriff too, which is really cool. Nice little touch there. And as we go obviously down the figure, we can see the gloves, high gloves as well, fingerless gloves too. The belt secondary, double belts. They love a double belt, the team, don't they? And of course, a little holster as well for any one of her weapons, I guess. Is it a holster or is it a sheath? I'm not sure actually. We'll have to look at the other weapons and see what makes sense. Cool legs as well. Little pouches on the thighs, knee pads, and of course the black boots that go up to just under the knee pads, and of course the steel toe caps. Lots of nice color breaks on this one, I would say as well. Love it. It does look like a sheath, doesn't it? Lego Star Wars kid. It does. Zanya is just beautiful, says Joe Barrett. I do like her. Squishy says rips on the shoulders look sculpted on, not just painted. I'm sure they are sculpted. Yeah, they are almost certainly sculpted rips for sure. And then of course we have a loadout of tons of gear. Now she comes with Copperhead's pistol with sight that you can put in the holster that goes on the back, right? Is that a backpack holster, or is that a side holster for Copperhead? I feel like it's on his back, but he's also got one on his thigh, hasn't he? I'm forgetting what Copperhead's deal is. Copperhead, what's your deal? Oh, it's on his back, I think. Anyway, you got that for her backpack, effectively. You've got spare punchy fists. You've got Falcon's shotgun, and you've got Copperhead's machete, which I assume will go in that that sheath we were just looking at on the figure, which we'll look at in a second again, in a moment. But first, how cool is it that not only are we getting a sort of Dreadnought Chaos homage, but with a female figure in that hockey mask, but we're also getting what could be a pre-tool for a Dana figure in that helmet, that sort of like old school Russian sort of pilot helmet, or whatever you call it, old school World War II helmet. It's well cool, but it just reminds me of Dana and makes me think that maybe that could be, you know, in the same way that we've sort of seen Flash, although we haven't really seen Flash yet. We've seen Flash's equipment with Glenda. I wonder if this could be a pre-tool for that, or it's one of those things where not for Dana, it'll be a different helmet completely. How funny would that be in the same kind of wetsuits flippers style? But she also gets kind of buzzer style glasses, kind of goggles, kind of circular ones, and goggles to go, I guess, with that particular helmet too, which is pretty cool. But I just want to go back to this one just to kind of say that, yeah, the machete probably goes in that side belt element, pistol on the back, and then shotgun. Maybe that can store on the swamp skier. Who knows? We'll have to see, won't we? But anyway, let's go back to the swamp skier. So here's a better look at the swamp skier. There's that rear ski, which was obviously the one they teased. Lots of nice detail on this, engine detail, little seat detail as well. So there's lots of color breaks on it. You've got the chameleon logo on the front. And I believe this is a Marcello Marter situation in terms of the design on this one. They posted, I believe Marcello posted about this, talking about on the render itself that he worked with Lenny on this one, which is really cool. But I'll tell you now, and Zartan, thank you very much for the super chat. The Zartan, finally, now I can get a ride. I'm tired of walking to all of my missions. Indeed, I am going to absolutely be using this for any one of my Zartans. Zanya is definitely joining the Nox, of course, but that swamp skier is 100% going to Zartan because he has been moaning about it. Not you, Zartan, but my Zartan has been moaning about it for ages. He wants his swamp skier, but there you go. And yes, Chris G, and thank you for the super chat. Very much appreciated it. These _ Zartan. They have hit port already, Chris G has mentioned. Yes, this is the Xandor listing, which Jedi Jaybird posted about not too long ago. So they've definitely hit port. And again, I imagine we're going to have some very cool samples on show at Toy Fair, is one of the reasons why they've probably hit port already. And may even be one of those situations where we won't be waiting very long for pre-order going into actual getting it in hand, which would be amazing, wouldn't it? It could be a ready-to-ship situation, Stanley, or at least a not very long situation to wait, like maybe a month or two. Anyway, I wish it changed color, says Jedi Ben. That's not a bad shout. That'd be really cool, wouldn't it? Joe says I need 4 chameleons for the OG Dreadnoks. That's another good reason to get multiples of Zanya, because of not just because of the swamp skier, but because of the chaos sort of helmet, which sort of lends a sort of troop builder element to it. Loads of female chaos agents, which is kind of cool. Does it have foot pegs on it? I don't know. I can't really tell. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell how. I believe they're gonna. I don't know where the feet go. Actually, this is going to be one of those ones where we're gonna have to see it in person for sure. Anyway, that is Zanya and the freaking awesome swamp skier, the chameleon. Now, to finish off the renders, Kitty said, right, this is the last render, right? We have Ninja Force Zartan, which is a Target exclusive for those that are uninitiated. Zartan, of course, did get a little sneaky leaked reveal, which we're looking at in a second. But he comes with some amazing gear. But we'll break him down first and foremost into the actual figure itself. So first of all, an amazing head sculpt. Love the orange over the eyes. Very nice indeed. And that orange mohawk is just next level. Love it. The jacket itself, the sleeveless biker jacket, is phenomenal. No notes. Orange chain. I'm here for it. Little chainmail on the left-hand on the left shoulder. I'm here for it. The zip slightly undone a little bit. All the little layers and it's just perfect. Looks like another double belt situation, sort of like a belt on the jacket with a buckle on it, maybe just to kind of tighten the jacket at the bottom, and then a regular belt for his pants. Again, lots of belts with that awesome Dreadnought logo on the belt buckle as well. Very cool indeed. And of course, a reverse shredder gauntlet on his right wrist, and a sort of bracelet on his other wrist, and of course one glove, and he's one glove and one non-glove. I love that. Asymmetrical. I love it. I'm here for it, guys. I've said it before, but I'm here for it. And then the legs, again, the green. Love the deco. Love the purple. Love the knee pads. Love the shin guards. And of course the color breaks with the little silver steel toe cap as well, and black soles. Very cool indeed. And of course, that little thigh secondary, which does the same thing that the other Ninja Force Zartans do, and have little, what they're called, the little throwing knives slot into those, which is really, really awesome. And let's look at the gear, because there's a lot of it. We have that sort of camera weapon with the sort of bladed sort of like handle, which is really cool. That's the first. I don't think that showed up in the slice and dice set. That slice and dice set has become my go-to for, have we had that ninja weapon in the line? Because they introduced so many cool weapons in that 2-pack. By the way, had I opened slice and dice before doing some of our best of the year lists, those two might have ended up in it, because hot damn, that set is phenomenal. There's so much good stuff last year, and there's so much good stuff already this year. Like, I don't even know what to do with myself other than make episodes and, literally buzz my berries all over the place. Then, of course, we've got the 2 throwing knives, which again slot into that thigh secondary, which he has. Then it gets interesting. We have these 2 bladed weapons. Now, the one on the left, you can sort of say is sort of like a really interesting, cool, like, weapon. It's got like a detailing on it, like face detailing on it, long blade, certain handle, what have you. And it almost looks like a mutated version of the one on the right. But then you look at the one on the right and you go, well, that's Spearhead's. That's Spearhead's knife. And to me, we are seeing some like pre-tooling here going on. And I think that is almost certainly a nod to the fact that we, at some point, will probably get a Spearhead. Now, I will say that I don't know of any Spearheads on the horizon in an official capacity, and nor have I heard the name or anything mentioned in any leaked capacity. But I would say that looks to me like we're probably getting a Spearhead at some point, because it's such an obvious weapon for Spearhead that I just think it's great. So that just this is doing that thing to me where I get excited for a future thing that I almost think is certainly going to happen, in much the same way that we had with Flash. And I won't say Hydro Viper anymore, because no. Isn't that a sword though? Says Hits Me, Hits UK. Yeah, but that bladed thing is massive for Spearhead. And as you can see, this one that Zartan has is they're like short swords basically. One is slightly bigger than the other. Anyway, there you go. And then, of course, you have the backpack piece with for those 2 bladed weapons that obviously fits on the back. A quiver element, which I'm not sure where that goes. Is that clipped to the back as well? Oh, we know, don't we? Because we've got, sorry, we'll come to that in a second. We'll talk about that in a second, the quiver. And then, of course, we have the bow, the compound bow, with 2 options. You've got a relaxed cord and you've got drawback as well, which is amazing. Love it. Anyway, Bad Wolf says, the funniest is the part about the Hydro Viper is that you were right about it coming, but were wrong about why you were right. Yeah, exactly. It's so funny, that one. Anyway, yeah, so yeah, it looks like we're getting some cool stuff on the horizon. And that finishes, I believe, that sort of element. I'm way behind. Let's move this on. Let's also have a little message from our sponsor as we move on to the leaked images that we had this week. Yes, the deluxe treasury editions of the Battle Action Force comics are amazing. Go get them now at totaltoybooks.com in the UK and Europe, skeletron.com in the US, and Amazon for anywhere in the universe. Now, we did get leaks this week week. It was leaks week this week. Ninja Force Zartan and the Royal Guard showed up in two separate eBay listings, which were sent to me at like 2 a.m. Thanks for that, by the way. Didn't wake me up. I just woke up very early, thankfully, and was like, oh, cool. Anyway, yeah, those they showed up, and we'll go through them one by one, starting with the Cobra La Royal Guard. And then obviously the images are actually really clear and very nice indeed, showing the figures in package. We didn't get any sort of we didn't get the figures out of package images, mainly because they were selling them. So there you go. And I believe quite a few people have ordered them now. So imagine these will be reviewed very soon, I would imagine, by lots of different people. But there's the Cobra La Royal Guard packaging. Again, very classic to what they've been doing with Once a Man Cobra Commander, Pythona, Nemesis Immortal, that sort of style with that sort of colored theme as well. I love the packaging they've done for the Cobra La figures. I think that's absolutely phenomenal. And I do believe these are works of art, Joe. Yes, for sure. Not just this particular figure, but the Cobra La stuff has been handled so perfectly. Python is right here, guys. Like, come on. Like, it's just, I think they're so good. The figures have just been absolutely next level. Once a Man Cobra Commander is even brilliant. Royal Guard is a deluxe, yes. James, he's a mainline deluxe figure. Now, let's zoom in on the parts and pieces so we get a nice look at that wonderful head sculpt for the default sort of helmetless head. Then there's another kind of neutral where he's not creepily smiling above his head as well. You've got the standard helmet on the right hand side there, and on the left hand side, as you look at it, you've got the sort of bone mohawk version, which obviously goes with the sort of winged version of this Royal Guard. I mean, I'm going to need a few of these as well, because you're going to have, you know, all the different options you can have, as well as you're going to require a few of these, right? Anyway, yeah. This is phenomenal. The texture and the detail, just so good. I'm sorry, I'm so excited about the Cobra La Royal Guard, because we only saw the render. The renders were great, 2 renders that showed 2 different versions of it, but still. Wow. Thank you, Hydrus, for the very, very generous super chat. Hydra says, working graveyard. I don't often get a chance to catch a live show. Just want to show my appreciation for what you do for the community. Thank you. Thank you, Hydrus. There's more appreciation to you for that. That's insane. Thank you very much. We do love a super chat around here, of course. But thank you very much, Hydrus. That's super, super kind of you. Have a great day at your graveyard shift, please, and thank you. Anyway, how can these be real? There's nothing up on Pulse to order them, because they're leaked. They got them before they went up for pre-order. They got them from another source, clearly, and are selling them from their eBay account. Badwall says, as a fan of the franchise, I've never been the biggest fan of Cobra La, even when I was a kid. Just came out of nowhere, but these classified figures are just so damn nice. There's a lot to that, Badwolf Media, definitely. Cobra, la 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 la. Indeed, figure 6-pack. I would just hear that sound as they're jumping out of the giant hole in the Himalayan floor. I like this. I voted for Globulus sticker on the chest. It says Hits Me UK. Okay. Is this going to be in the $40 deluxe price point? Unfortunately, it's going to be in whatever the deluxe price point is, yes. But it's gone up since, obviously. It used to be, what, $34.99? So, yeah, I'm sure it's up now into that more higher price point for sure. Squishy says, Cobra La is the most stupid thing in G.I. Joe. I'm only getting 3 Royal Guards. That's so funny. Amazing. Anyway, so again, great viewpoint here of some of the textures, some of the armor pieces. There's sort of like bladed wrist gauntlets, the sort of like wing element. It's just nuts, isn't it? Absolutely nuts. And then we've got obviously this kind of side view which just does give us a little bit of a look. Although, sorry, I zoomed in on it, but it doesn't do it enough justice. Of John Jiang's wonderful artwork that he's done. He's done amazing work on the Cobra La figures. To be fair to him, the guy does amazing stuff. And this particular piece for the Royal Guard is also looking amazing. I'm sure once this comes out officially over the Toy Fair or after Toy Fair, I'm sure John will post his artwork on his Instagram account. I've been sharing some stuff of his today, just absolutely gorgeous work. So yeah, there you go. This artwork is next level, even though we are seeing it like squidged up. I should have tried to like manipulate it with Photoshop to try and like get a better view of it. But alas, we'll see it in good time. And then, of course, the back of the box as well, which I did zoom in to see if we could get any sort of like cheeky homage in there, but it just really shows the Cobra La Royal Guard and a couple other Royal Guards behind them to the left of the image as you look at it. Like 3 behind him kind of flying around and buzzing around. The wings look amazing. The gear looks insane. And yeah, it looks so cool in that form. That flying form. I'm down for the flying form for sure. And also the 3 different all other alternate heads that come with it as well in the call out. But no other homages other than that I could spot, other than the sticky clam to the right hand side as you look at it of the Royal Guard that is currently imprisoning Cobra Commander. If you look at some of the other card backs, you'll know what I'm talking about. So there you go. There you go. Is that everything? Not quite. Obviously, we've got the semi side image to look at as well. And were there other images on here? Oh, yeah, of course. Zartan. So there's the Cobra La Royal Guard. Now let's talk about Zartan. Because we've already talked about Zartan's render, I kind of thought we'd already done this, but obviously not. So I did zoom in on this one as well. Ninja Force, obviously, this is going to be the theme for Target going forward. And this is a Target exclusive, which will also show up on Hasbro Pulse in small quantities. You know the process. Afan, how you doing, buddy? Long time no see. Fan has no business being watching this chat. He does not care in any way, shape, or form about G.I. Joe. Just kidding, Afan, man. Good to see you, buddy. It's so weird when I see friends in the chat who have got nothing, to do with the G.I. Joe community. That always makes me laugh a little bit when someone pops up. But it's always good to see. Hello, buddy. Hope you're doing well, man. It's been too long, dog. Good to see you. Good to see you, even if it's in the chat on the side of the screen for me. Will Royal Guard be 4 alt heads or 2 heads and 2 helmets? It's all alternate heads. You can see, look. It's all alt heads, I believe. I don't think they're helmets that go over the heads, is what I'm saying on that one. Anyway, Zartan. What symbols did the Royal Guard have on the side of the box? Someone's actually done this for us already. I think it was Scott did it when he was watching on the burst the other day. But yeah, he kind of gave us like a good kind of overall roundup sort of thing of the abilities. And I can't remember. It wasn't very high, though. It wasn't very high. Michael Taylor says, Chris, in the back of the Cobra La Guard box, it looks like globulous tail over his head. I think he's stretching there, Michael. But I did see that, and we did talk about this in the episode last time. That could be a stretch, but I'm not going to say it's not, because it could very well be. And here's me looking and finding snake armors in the background of everything. But there you go. Mark says, speaking of John Jiang, his A Real American Hero 325 retailer exclusives just went live on Eastside Comics. Thank you. I also shared that earlier, I believe, on Instagram. So let's get to Zartan again. So again, a little loadout here. Someone made a very interesting point the other day, saying, shouldn't he be packed the other way round so that he's sort of more on show and the accessories are hidden? And I think actually no. I think what they've done here, and what they're, I think, supposed to do with the packaging, is they need to be able to show all of the items. You can see that all of the items are there, even if it is just a very glimmer of that sword poking through on the right-hand side. But yeah, I believe they do it on purpose to show as much of the stuff off as possible, not as much as the figure off as possible, but as much of everything that's in said package needs to sort of be visible in certain ways, and that's what they've kind of done here. Either way, I'm not that fussed because this is coming straight out of the package, so whatever. But a few people have said that, including Stan, who's mentioned that just now about offset in the left. But yeah, lots of decent, and again, the gear, very cool. Now, here is the beautiful art on the side panel by Scott Johnson, who we are talking to following Toy Fair. So after Toy Fair, we'll be meeting up with John to do a redacted interview where we talk about his artwork, including this beauty. And what's really interesting is it shows you here in the artwork how the quiver works. It connects to the bow. So that's dope. So we've got a quiver that connects to the bow. And then I don't know if the bow connects to his little kind of sheath backpack. I'm not sure if that does, probably doesn't. But that's a really nice touch. I do like that. But yeah. Anyway, sorry, I'm trying to read comments, but it's hard to keep up. And then we see here the sword and the short swords in the backpack sort of situation. On his back, he's got the camera weapon in his right hand, and he's got the dagger in the other on the sort of render. So we don't see the bow there, do we? The bow is not there, is it? I'm not going mad. No, the bow isn't there. So he's obviously utilized the bow, and now he's escaping. Badwell says, when Chris says it's coming right out of the package, he means 6 months after he gets his in hand. That's true. That's very true. Like this, yeah, but this was an anomaly. We had such a huge amount of product come in that I just couldn't keep on top of it. And I was trying to do unboxing videos, and it was just impossible. So in the end, I was just like, I'm just going to open them up. We've already had 100. John, haven't we? Do you mean who's going to be 200? Irish John, Irish Johnny B. Who will be 200? That is a good question, actually. Maybe one of the mainline figures. But yeah, 100 was the Hiss driver, as Hydrus points out. Anyway, looks great on the background. He's in the Arashikage temple area, moon in the background. And that's pretty much all there is for homage in the background. It's just the location homage being, of course, the Arashikage temple. Anyway, that's Zartan, and I can't wait to see this in real human life. I'm going to go absolutely nuts when I see this figure as well. Because, again, this has been one I've been waiting for ages. Oh, looks gorgeous. Now, Jedi Jaybird has just posted this yesterday, I want to say, but Tara, who we revealed as a listing 2 episodes ago, well, basically it was the weekly, wasn't it? I think I revealed it. Yeah, so we got the Tara listing, or her HER Tara listing, like very recently, and hadn't heard hide nor hair of it in the past, and it just appeared like in our listings. And then this pops up on Jedi Jaybird. He posted that for those collecting classified series, there is a mystery item now arriving in the US, codenamed Tara, or Tara, whatever. Now, we know what that listing is. Here we go. Leaked listings 2026. We know that it is a listing. It is down there on the right hand side. If you can read, if you can, and also zoom in because it's in red on a red background. Her Tara G2099. It was a new addition to the listings as of last week, and it has hit port already. So we don't know what it is, but I'm telling you now, that is exciting, because that means that it's going to possibly be something that's revealed up for pre-order very soon. What that could be, I just don't know. But like I said, we've added it to the listings, and it has appeared in port already. Crazy pants. So fingers crossed we get to find out who that is. But that's that's going to be new to us, and I think to everybody. So yeah, I cannot wait to find out what that is. Now, in regards to the leaked listings, we'll move over to the left hand side. We'll work our way through them. Now, the GIJ CSSK The Enforcer G2278 is going to be the reveal on the 11th. We can't say what it is, but that will be what that reveal is and will be unlocked on our listings. When I see you on the 11th, that Wednesday, I'll be doing an episode. What's the word? A news burst for that one. We don't know what it is yet, Stan. It's got a question mark next to it. Tara. If you're talking about Tara, we don't know what it is yet in terms of format. If it's got a question mark next to it, it means we don't know. The question mark in brackets is we don't know if it's Pulse, Fanmazon, Fan Channel, Con exclusive, whatever. It's unknown at this point for us, unfortunately. Now, coming back to Enforcer, like I said, that will be unlocked on that Wednesday, the 11th, when I do a news burst following that Whatnot stream from Larry, Midtown Comics, Skybound, and Hasbro. Of course, we've already unlocked Airtight, Hydro Viper, Overkill, and the new character, that Past Master listing, are those renders that we've already seen, as well as, of course, Heisberg, that was a name-only reveal a while back, who is in the next block of figures to line up. Mainly when that figure comes out, he'll be in and around the Arctic Hiss and the Snowcat, which you can see in the middle of the page there as well. Yeah, everything else is pretty much unknown at this moment. Those miscellaneous listings, we're expecting maybe 2 more to be added and have another block of 5. But that block of 5 will most likely be a wave shown off at the end of the year that bleeds into 2027 in terms of being in hand. So yeah, we don't know what those 3 listings are at the moment. That is really a bit of a head scratcher. But we're expecting them to just be like follow-on listings, and maybe we'll get more information soon. Hopefully we will. Of course, Cobra La Royal Guard already unlocked. Deep 6 already unlocked on here. Wild Bill Retro is the only retro figure we have unlocked out of the 3 that we expect to see over Toy Fair. So Mom, Dad, and Miss Spell are the retro listings. Wild Bill, somebody, and somebody. We'll have to wait and see what they will be, unfortunately, until for when New York Toy Fair happens. Then we move over to the exclusives, and we've got Target Ninja Force Zartan, of course. Chabang is one of a 2-pack, but we haven't revealed that yet. And I believe, I don't think anyone's actually mentioned what it is yet, which is interesting. Or maybe they have. Anyway, I'm not going to give any more hints because we'll probably find out sooner rather than later with that one. I imagine there'll be name-only reveals as well over the Toy Fair period. Another 2-pack there is, of course, for Target as well, which is great. Walmart exclusives, Jaina Montaro and Ghost still on the unknown level, but I think we may see a couple of those, if not one of them, over Toy Fair, which we'll then unlock on our listings as soon as we can. Johnny 2-pack is Taurus and Red Dog, of course, which we have unlocked on the listings for a long time now. And then if we go through these just quickly, no changes, but then her Zandor is Zanya with the Chameleon. That is a Fanmazon release, and that will be going up after Toy Fair, I imagine. Then we have the unknown vehicle listing, G1233, which I think might end up being one we removed from the listings, because I think that might be one that ended up basically taking the place, or Arctic Assault Hiss took that place of that listing, basically, right? So I'll probably be removing that soon. Then we get unlocks for certain internal code words. So her IGU, that Pulse exclusive 2026, G2026, that is an unlocked internal code word. We didn't know that before last week. Her Tundro is another one, but that is again an unlocked internal code word. I believe we had that listing prior to this. Then we have the Her Gloop, which is the Arctic 3-pack. Finally got to unlock that one, which is great. And that was the last official miscellaneous unlock that we had, which was really bugging me, to be fair. So at least we've unlocked that one. JQ Benton G2064 is a brand new listing as well. So that's added to the listings, as well as the 2099 one, which was the Her Tara listing. That was new as well, I believe. And then Her Dorno is an internal code word reveal or unlock. And finally, Her Squish Face is a unlocked internal code word as well. But that is pretty much it in terms of the updates for the leaked listings. I imagine a lot more of this will be yellow after Toy Fair, and then a little bit more of it will be green after Toy Fair, which is even more fun. But there you go. That is everything we know to this point from the public perspective and the official perspective. Like I said, more will be unlocked very soon. Now, of course, that leaves us with our name only reveals for Iceberg, Deep Six, and Shabang, which again we've gone over on our listings already. And digital renders, we are currently in this situation. We have the classified or the unknown new character in the top left-hand corner there. We have Red Dog and Taurus, the 2-pack, Airtight mainline, and then we have the Arctic Steel Core, Drift Viper, Arctic Saw Viper 3-pack. We have Hydro Viper mainline, we have Overkill mainline, we have Ninja Force Zartan Target exclusive, Cobra La Royal Guard mainline deluxe, and Zanya with Chameleon Fanmazon. There you go. Do I know what time I'm going live for the news burst on Wednesday? It'll just be after, like, what? So Whatnot is at 4:30, right? That thing with Larry's at 4:30. However long that goes on for, when it finishes, I'll then have to do things like images, slideshow, all that stuff. So it's probably going to be around about 6:30. It'll just be following that stream, Stan. There won't be like, I can't give you a specific time, unfortunately, because there's too many variables with that one. There you go. And the other thing I've added to the kind of listing section is teasers, because hopefully we'll find out what the heck this is all about over the weekend as well, over next weekend, I should say. The harness teaser. Ooh, what could it be? I think some people have already kind of leaked it, but you know what I mean. There you go. That is everything. Now we can get to the shout outs, and yeah, well, let's do it. Let's finish the show strong, shall we? Right, Battle Action Force, the Deluxe Treasure Editions. We already heard from our sponsor earlier in the episode, but please make sure you go and get those books. They're amazing. Great volumes, perfectly restored and put into the most immense quality you're ever likely to see in hardback volumes ever. 3 volumes available at the moment, of course, for these beautiful things that you can get at totaltoybooks.com in the UK and Europe, Skeletron.com in the US, and Amazon if you're in like the Arctic or something. And in relation to Total Toy Books, My Palatoy Story is making a return to Kickstarter, but it's going to be so much more. So Action Man, the 60th anniversary is this year. We're going to be doing a special episode with Brian and Bob about this particular thing, and of course the 60th Action Man, and for the 60th Action Man anniversary, which is amazing. Bob has provided loads more content for Brian to put in a beautiful designed and displayed manner, and he's added 34 pages of additional content in a soft cover version of My Palatoy Story, Action Man related, as you can see, torn off on the front cover there, as kind of like a sort of like a graphic style. Again, I think we're probably going to see a little bit. This might be like, you know, early design kind of for the front cover, but yeah, it's going to be something along those lines. Afan says, I care about you. Great graphics, by the way. Greetings from Canada, everyone. Thanks, Fan, mate. I care about you very much as well, buddy. Love to the fam and everyone that we mutually know that I haven't seen for years. Anyway, yes. And my folks, as you know, mate, my family send their love, as always, mate. Anyway, so yes, My Palatoy Story, incredible additional content by the wonderful Bob Breakin and, of course, Brian Hickey. Here's just some like little teasers of what it's all about. But obviously Action Man was not the number one toy of the year, boys toy of the year, as well as Tiny Tears as well. But they, award winning when it came out, the Action Man 12-inch figures. So really cool. And of course, there's Bob at his desk doing his best to give us an amazing childhood, I would say, in the UK especially. But look at that. Look at just, nonchalantly got some cool designs there, some cool stuff you're doing. Amazing stuff. Yeah, we'll be getting Bob and Brian on a special episode where we will talk Action Man and, of course, this wonderful Kickstarter, which will be kicking off around the end of Feb. Okay, so you got some time, and you can go on their socials and you can find a link to notify you when this goes live. But we'll be doing that as well, of course, and keeping you up to date with everything too. Also, massive shout out to Articulated Points, and of course to my old co-host Pat, who we still haven't been able to line up with availability wise yet, but I've got some plans for episodes, so we might be able to get some pre-recorded stuff done with Pat and the team. I want to bring back the monthlies in a big way. And also massive shout out to Phil as well on Articulated Points. Go check them out, link in the description, please, and thank you. Also massive shout out to codenameiowa.com. They do amazing things, including Brian, who runs Codename Iowa, does a lot of our graphics, so thank you to Brian. And we've got some more cool stuff coming very soon from Codename Iowa and Full Force as a sort of combination collaboration scenario. So more information to follow. And of course, to skeletron.com, go get your RoboSkull Mark IIs. They are amazing. Toy of the Year 2024. And of course, they will be at Zolacon in 2026, which is in February 27, March the 1st, at Valley Forge Casino, King of Prussia in Pennsylvania. You'll be able to get the Yeti masked and unmasked variant carded figures. Of course, they're amazing figures, by the way. I'm very scared to actually to take mine out of the packaging, and I find them so amazing. And of course, homaging our wonderful and fallen friend Aaron Dietrich. Rest in peace, brother. Always love you, my man, and love to the Dietrich crew and family as well, and everyone associated, of course, with Aaron, and of course with Skeletron. Now, of course, they've also dropped that really cool Zargonaut as well. That will be available at Zolacon too, and there is the artwork for it too. There you go. Right then, that's it for this episode. 2-hour special. My God, I went early and then ended up being late anyway. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me on this episode. It's been an absolute blast going through a really fun and busy week in the world of G.I. Joe, and it's only going to get busier and more fun, isn't it? We've got a hell of a week coming, and then a hell of a weekend. Now, I will not be doing a weekly on Saturday, will I? Because I'll be on the floor doing the Lord's work and getting you all that good stuff in your eyeballs. And then, of course, we'll do a stream that evening, and that will be a news burst to react to the New York Toy Fair stuff. We'll be doing... I'll be doing, obviously, interviews on the floor, which will go up after the stream. I'll have to kind of edit them quickly and get them up there, Kitty said. And we'll also be doing, some other bits and pieces from the show, and anything that kind of pops up that's of interest. Obviously, my aim is obviously to get into the event as well, to speak to, Super 7, and to speak to a couple of other, maybe loyal subjects if I can. I'll do what I can, basically. Fingers crossed I can, but I'll be there on the Saturday, and failing all that, I'll just see that wonderful event, Toy Fair event in the evening on Saturday. Anyway, I'll see you on Wednesday, actually, because obviously, or before that, it depends. It's going to be so much. I'll see our patrons tomorrow around the same time. Tomorrow. It's just crazy. I'm so excited. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend, guys. Stay fresh, cheese bags. And as always, you know what to do after 3. Just knock the entire thing down. 1, 2, 3. Full force. Laters. Full force. Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing and commenting on these videos. And as always, you can keep up with the show after listening by following on all of our social platforms, links in the description. And if you would like to contact the show, you can message us on any of those platforms with feedback or questions. We also have a Patreon page, so if you want to show your support for the show, see your name up in lights on these videos, or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/The Full Force Podcast, or click the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full Force.